Hello, everyone. You're welcome to the Dr. Inia Adesanya show. And of course, this is where I do my best to help SMEs thrive, small and medium-sized enterprises to do well, right? So I'm very excited to be here this evening and just wanted to appreciate those that watched, commented. I'm always saying thank you and I'm very appreciative and, very excited that, we're almost clocking a year, very soon, sometime in October, but, just excited, right? Okay, and today, as always, this platform is where people come to share resources that will make sure that SMEs thrive. I share resources, or as I said, I guess I have guests here and there. I also have guests that come and say, you know what, I want to share the issues I'm going through in my business. Doing that, I will answer questions, and then hopefully anyone that is viewing, looking, or watching this show would actually be able to take information from that problem or that issue and then research and see how it applies to their business, right? So today I have another interesting topic, very interesting. I do my best to share interesting topics, and the topic today is 8 effective ways to distribute flyers. 8 effective ways to distribute flyers. Now, why is this another important topic? Okay, the first reasons, or I'll give you I'm not going to go through the list of why, but just going to give you a summary, right? Now, sharing or distributing flyers is one way of what? Marketing is how you market, one of the ways, right? One of the ways you market. And so when you distribute flyers, people, you're just getting your brand out there, right? So why is it important, right? To get your brand out there? What are we talking about? Getting more money into your business, getting more clients, getting more customers, right? You want your business to do well. You want your business to thrive. So that's why this is another interesting topic. You really want to do well in make sure your business does well. Of course, when your business does well, what? You do well. You're successful. Your business is successful. Of course, you are successful. So that's one of the reasons why it's so important to just not, send out flyers like that, right? Just not, I'm sharing flyers because I want to share flyers. No, it's good to make sure that you do it in a strategic way, right? Make sure you do it in a way that really is something that is very, done in a way that will benefit your business. You don't want to lose money, and a lot of times people don't count the cost of time when you're trying to organize flyers and getting things out there. I mean, even if you have to use somebody else, that's your time. You have to make sure that, you're spending your time to do that, which is this. I mean, of course, if the time is spent well, that means that you're spending your time in a way that will benefit the company. But if you don't spend that time well, if you're just distributing flyers because other people are doing that, it's not a good thing, right? You're wasting your time, and you're also spending, you're actually spending more money, right? I always talk about cost benefit analysis, spending money or more money and not getting money back, right? Marketing should not be that way. All right. So that's why it's so important. This topic is very important. Now, what do you consider, right? Before we get to the 8 effective ways, what are the things that you would consider? Well, you have to, of course, look at what your target audience, your target market. Who are you marketing to? Who are you sending your flyers to? Remember, who you send your flyers to will determine how well, how well the strategy, or how you even structure this distribution. So very first thing is to know your target audience, right? Target audience, knowing your target audience. Of course, I'm not even going to talk about how to create an exciting flyer. You should know that we've done that. We did something related to that when it came to email marketing. But your flyer has to be interesting, has to be exciting, has to be eye-catching. So we're not talking about how to create an exciting flyer. We're talking about how to distribute that exciting flyer that you created. Okay, that interesting flyer that you created. All right. So you have to note, of course, your target audience. Who are your target audience? Who are you actually sending this to? That will make sure that okay, how you strategize in distributing this flyers, right? No, I mean, what kind of business are you? Are you one that is geographically located? When I say geographical, you have your customers come from way around the area you're located, right? Some businesses can be online. They don't really need that geographical location, marketing, right? Now, if you're not in that arena, if you're like your business is really an online business, well, this might not actually be 100% for you, because you can market online. You can also market it by using a flyer. There's nothing wrong with that. But I would say if you're really the kind that somebody, I mean, I'm in Texas right now. If somebody in North Carolina can use your business or can buy from you, also look at social media marketing. That's also very important. Okay, so let's go back to our flyers, right? So I talked about some things that you should actually note. Remember, your audience, you have to look at your locality, and of course, timing. Timing are the things that you have to consider when you actually put it out there, right? When you put your flyers out there. So those are the things you should consider, right? Okay. So now we're going to the effective ways, right? Now, sometimes, right, you can give flyers person to person, but be very careful, because it depends on where you are located. It depends on the city. Sometimes there are some licenses you need to have. I know you might be in a city that you don't need a license to market, send out flyers. That's fine if you're in that city, but you have to know the law that pertains to your city. All right, or not even your city, your area, your locality, because it's not maybe this whole city, but just your locality. Might be there are some ordinances that you can't just go and be giving out flyers like that. It just depends. You have to make sure that what you're doing is legal. And so before you say, oh yeah, I'm going into marketing, I'm going to send flyers out, make sure, usually the issue would be when you're going to people's houses to drop off flyers, or when you're actually, giving up, standing somewhere and giving out person to person. Usually the laws really encompass that aspect, but of course it could be more. It depends on your locality, right? And that's why I said make sure you confirm before you just start going out there, right? Remember, this program is just for informative and educative purposes only. This is not, and I mean, we're not saying that this is the all and all. We just give information. Then it's up to you to find out, okay, how does it apply to your case, right? I always say, talk to a professional, talk to someone that is in the field, but it's good to know so that you know exactly what you are expecting when it comes to marketing. When you're going to the person and say, okay, these are the things I need, right? When it comes to the specific person you're actually giving the job to, or you're speaking for advice, because you might do it by yourself. So, and that's fine. You might have a team that can do that. That's fine. So the very first way for effective marketing, the first one, remember I said I'm going to give you 8. The very first one is what? Person to person, right? You're distributing flyers out there, giving people, right? Giving people. So that's fine. And people do that. But of course, make sure that you can do that in your locality, that you're allowed, permitted to give flyers out. All right. So that's the very first one. And that's, that's one of the good things about that. You actually speak to people, right? It's not just people just see flyers, it's actually a one-on-one, contact way of actually explaining it more. You give the flyers, and sometimes people actually stop and say, okay, and you can say something, right, that will not just make this flyer just one of those flyers that they see anywhere. It has that human connection. And I've seen that human connection actually goes a long way, right? So you might give it to someone and say, oh yeah, we're doing this, we're doing that, we'll have discounts, we're doing that, we're doing this. And, and the person might say, really? Yeah, just come around. This is what we're doing. So it's like you're actually conversing with that person. And, usually when you converse with somebody and it's something that they're interested in, they'll actually follow up. They'll actually say, okay, you know what? There's something I would like to attend, if it's a show or if it's coming to your store for something. There's some they would like to, it's likely they would come because of that, one-on-one, right? So it's a good and is an effective way, right? But of course, again, make sure you're checking to see if you're allowed to do that. Another way is in busy areas, right? Now, if you market in busy areas, a lot of people will see that your flyer. If you put your flyers, maybe the subway, right? You put it in a busy, subway. I'm not talking about subway sandwich. Talking about subways where people have to train. I know the same spelling, but trains, right? Train, things like that. There are ways. Just think of in your environment, a busy area, right? Somebody might even put the flyer in the laundry room, right? Because it's a busy area, right? It just depends where there's traffic, where people are moving, and where people will stop and look at something. So that's another way to distribute your flyer. Make sure that you are actually putting it out there. I remember that so when before COVID, I was a Zumba instructor, okay, because before COVID. But when COVID happened and I didn't get in as many classes as I wanted, so I just decided to step back. And then I know people were doing it online. It wasn't really as interesting as I wanted it to be, but actually for me personally. But I remember somebody called me from nowhere and I said, where did she get this? And she said, oh, she saw my flyer in the community center and that she found out that if I could do something, that they were having a women's church something, if I could come and just do the 1 hour, Zumba dance and get them to one of the things they have on their schedule to get them to exercise themselves, right? So, it was just, again, is a place that the community center, people were coming to do exercises, and she actually reached out to me because she saw my information there, right? Because I volunteered here and there to do Zumba there and other places. So that was a busy area for what she needed, right? She reached out to me. And so that's it. Put it there, out there. The area that is busy, make sure that your flyer is out there, right? And if somebody likes what you're doing, right, they will definitely reach out to you. Let me start with another example. I remember I talked about timing too. If you look at places like, let's say, cleaning, people that clean houses, I've noticed something that they do, right? They put flyers on vehicles, right? I think it's either on Saturday or Saturday or Friday. Because they know that a lot of people go shopping, right? They go shopping on Fridays and Saturdays. So the people that clean residences, one of the things that I noticed that they put flyers on the windshields, right? The cars, right? They put the flyers there. So you thought, yeah, this is someone I'm interested. I'm looking for someone to actually clean my house, right? Or clean my apartment or my home, right? So that is, a busy, right? Because it's a busy, this might not be a busy location, but a busy time, right? So some grocery stores are so busy. There are some grocery stores you go to that the line is so long. You have to park very far because the grocery store is the prices are very competitive. So there are a lot of cars there. So, just think of your target market. Think of a busy environment, right? Think of where there's traffic. In this case, the grocery store, there's of course a lot of traffic over the weekend, right? Some people actually really go shopping just during the weekend because during the week they're so busy. All right, that's one of the things you should consider when you're actually distributing your flyer. Another way that you can effectively distribute your flyer is the third way is by business to business, right? Business to business. Now, let's say that an event center, right? Remember, an event center actually gives platforms for weddings, for things like that, right? Events generally, all kinds of events. Now, what do I mean by business to business? You can actually be, let's say, a DJ and have your flyer in all the event centers, right? So that's business to business marketing. That's why it's very important for you to know your target market. it's very important to know your target market. It's so important because when it's business to business, right? And you know that it's business to business, and you actually really put your market, your target market, your flyers where there's a target, where there's the target that you're looking at, definitely you really know which area you would market, which companies you market to. Okay, is very important. So look at what works for you. Look at your target audience. Look at the business that matches yours, right? And give your flyers. Yeah, give your flyers. Like another thing, people that have weddings, right? And the event planners, people that have flowers, that do flowers for events. One of the ways to market is to let the event planner know that, you know what, I give flowers. I have flowers for weddings and all kinds of events. I do flowers, right? So that's business to business, all right? Business to business. Of course, and I have to state it here. If you're, let's say, if you're a daycare, owner of a daycare, right? Daycare, right? I really don't think you should, you're partnering. It would not be an event center, right? It won't be an event center. But your partnering could be a place that they have maybe programs for expectant mothers, right? So things like that. So you have to know your target market and how to distribute your flyers, all right? Another way, the fourth way is, I know I'm not sure if all of you have had this before, but in the mail, there's something called, I think it depends on your neighborhood. There's something that comes like, I think it's advertising packages where many flyers are in that package, right? It's like a neighborhood package, right? I'm not talking about the magazines now. I'm talking about is a package where you have different companies have their different flyers there. I strongly believe that's really a good way if you're doing flyers, especially if it's something to do with, housing or something to do with the house, right? Of course, or things related to that. There are some, I won't say that if it's a neighborhood packaging, you're advertising, you again know your target markets, right? It depends on where that package is going. If it's going to businesses also, if you're the kind that maybe you're a commercial cleaner, you clean commercial property, you also clean residential property. Very good. That's a way of actually getting your flyer out there. So make sure that you know where those value or packages are going, right? Before you actually commit to saying that, you know what, I want to pay and have my flyer to be distributed with the full package, right? With other flyers, because it's very important to see and to know or ask if where they are going, then you can say, okay, yeah, they're going to my target market. It's going to reach my target market. So I'm fine. My audience, good. I'm going to be part of it. So that's another way. All right. Okay. So the fifth way is by mailing. We all get mails, whether our businesses, we get mail, we get flyers in the mail, so that's another way. But it's very important for you to know how to go about that if you're mailing, right? There are ways. One of the ways that I believe is very cheap is for you to use postcards. Now, the reason why I'm saying cheap when it comes to that is because I know that SMEs, they don't have as much resources, right, compared to large businesses, right? So you want to make sure that you're marketing in a way that is wise, right? That you're not just spending so much. Okay. Another way you could do it is you could actually say, you know what, I'm sending it out by myself, or you can actually get a company that will send those postcards out for you, or send flyers out for you. But whichever you choose, of course, I know if you do it, it's going to be cheaper. But if you choose a company, right, and let's say you don't want to just spend time to do that, and print out your flyers and do that, right? And you want to hire a company, make sure the cost is not that much. It's not going to be so overwhelming, right? It should be something that is reasonable, right? I know one thing, that when SMEs are startups, what they do is that they do a lot on their own. They do so much, and it's okay. At the beginning, you're like, you're advertising, you're doing so much here and there. But of course, at the beginning, of course, it's good to get advice here and there. It's not wrong to get someone to consult with someone in the field. I strongly advise you to do that. But if you're saying that, okay, I think I can afford to get someone to mail the product to me, for me, it's fine. Mail my flyers, but make sure that you cost it. Make sure you do market research to get someone, a company that is reasonable, that will not actually break your bank, right? Break the bank, your bank, all right? So make sure, it's very important. We always talk about cost-benefit analysis, all right? So mailing is very good. Of course, it has to be, of course, your flyer has to be one that will not end up in, won't be thrown away. It should be someone that's an interesting flyer, which, we went through that at the beginning, right? I'm not going to go through details on that, but just let it be, interesting, or something that somebody would actually know or feel to, that this is captivating. Let me see what this is all about. Okay. Then another way that you can actually have another effective way actually send out your flyers is by networking groups. If it's so important for you to have a networking group, right? If it's, in this case, networking is not networking with your industry, with only your industry. Like if you're into, let's say, you're an event planner, networking is not going to network with only event planners. No, you have to network with other businesses, right? And let them know. One thing that businesses, when you network with other businesses, what they do is that they begin to feel comfortable with you and say, okay. And of course, it's not only going to be one-sided. You're going to refer businesses, right, to them, so that it's okay. Yeah. So next time anything happens, I have an event planner that is a friend of mine that is we are in a networking group that, yeah, from what she tells me, I believe that she could, be good for you, right? Of course, the onus is on the person to do their due diligence, but it's a way of actually getting your flyer out, because, usually in networking events, you can distribute your flyers. Sometimes you can even present. Networking events allows you to be the person that presents and says, okay, this is all about my business. This is what I can do. This is what and in addition to giving out your flyers, right? Make sure that when you're actually in a networking group and you are to present, make sure you bring out something that makes your business unique, right? You're not just, for example, you're not just any kind of event planner. If you're a daycare center, you're someone that owns a daycare. You're not just any daycare, right? There's something unique about you, so that it will attract people that are in the networking group and say, okay, this is awesome. Okay, I would actually make this, give this out and, tells people about this. All right. Very important. Okay. So one of the things that I said, the 7th point, is that networking group. Very important for you to join a networking group and let them know this is what you do. All right. The next point is sponsorship. It's the 8 points. Of course, I always say that, before I hit the 8th point, this list is not exhaustive. You could actually have so many ways, right? Usually when I come on this show, I always say, okay, these are the ones I believe would work best based on my own professional experience and, analysis. But again, there are so many out there. And, even though I say it might work best for me, you don't have to say, okay, maybe all these points might not really work for you. Maybe some of them might. But of course, as I said, this is for educative and informative purposes only. It's so important for you to know which works for you. All right. So let's go to the eighth point. The eighth point, which is the effective. What is the eighth effective way to distribute flyers? Sponsorship events. Sponsorship events. What do I mean by that? Go out and find out if you can sponsor an event. And usually when I say sponsor events, let's say let's step back to say that you're a daycare, right? And you want to, you can go and look for a youth soccer team or youth flag football team and just sponsor. It's not really, usually it's not that, they don't want you to bring 5,000, 20,000. It's usually something that is reasonable, but they will show that you are one of the sponsors. And then from there, there's dialogue. Your flyers, there's dialogue. You can talk to the parents of the kids. For example, if you're into that, right? If you're into, you have a daycare. And of course, since daycares usually really geographically located, like it's always your business, you need most times, right? With exceptions, there are some exceptions when people carry their children to their work, right? And they have a daycare within their workplace. That's different. But in this case, I'm referring to when there's maybe the school is there and the daycare is beside you, or the school or the daycare is just beside your house, So usually daycares are geographically, when it is really, they look for customers which are really geographically located, which is geographical, I mean that very close to where the daycare is. Usually that's what happens, right? So look for events to sponsor. I mean, this is just an example of a day with a daycare, right? You can actually look for, I mean, it depends on what your business is. If you're a bakery, right? If you're a baker, right? Your business is a bakery and you're a baker, right? I mean, go ahead. I mean, sponsor an event, bring some of those lovely, beautiful cupcakes, right? Oh my goodness, I know I'm not supposed to talk about cupcakes and good things because you know how we love those good things, right? But we have to be careful and not take so much, right? But think of it, bring those lovely cupcakes, right? Have something. And so I'm sponsoring something and I'm going to bring cupcakes for this program, or, find out, be in tune with your community, right? I mean, be in tune, or, make sure that you're find out what's happening, right? Or that's let's say cupcakes we talked about. Let me see if I can give another example before I just round up. Let's see. Yeah, let's say you are someone that's into making t-shirts. Remember, t-shirts can be made for so many things, right? See if you can sponsor, let's say, a team and say, I'm going to take over that. I'm going to make that t-shirts, right? People have t-shirts for school events. People have t-shirts for reunions. I mean, t-shirts you can use. I mean, so many things when it comes to t-shirts, so many groups, right? So, but you need to get out there and see if you can sponsor or say, you know what? I know you guys have this. I'm going to discount it for this amount. Some people feel that, if they discount it and give that discount for that particular amount, they're not going to get the money back. I guarantee you, this is how it works. If you give someone, let's say a group of people, a discount on, for example, t-shirts, I will tell you, I guarantee you, but again, for informative and educative purposes, as I always say, but if you give somebody a discount for a t-shirt, imagine if that person wants to do it and make t-shirts for their family, let's say, or maybe this is like, or they want to, this is the people that the first discount is because maybe they had a reunion. Then all of them, imagine all of them and say, okay, each of them will say, oh yeah, this was a good discount. I'm coming now. I want to do a reunion for my family. Somebody might come, oh, my daughter is having a birthday. I want all their friends to wear this t-shirt, right? And so if your business continues to expand, right? Because remember, the goal of just getting out these flyers, distributing these flyers, is not just for the fun of it. It's because you want to increase your business revenue, right? That's the big thing. You want to increase your business revenue. All right. Awesome. So I hope that I've been able to, give you some kind of highlights, right, on how to effectively distribute your flyers. It's a good thing to have those flyers and let people know. It's actually a way of getting your brand out there. Great way of doing that. So yes, those are as I said, 8 effective ways. Of course, the ways are not exhaustive. look for which one works for your company. All right. Awesome. Okay. I'm just going to jump into the questions right now. And the questions are, let me start with the first one. Okay. Is pay-per-click more effective than SEO pay-per-click or SEO, which is search engine optimization? Should I just stick to search engine optimization? Well, okay, like the name says, pay-per-click, just like the name. Whenever pay-per-click, for those that don't know, pay-per-click means that if somebody clicks on your adverts, you have to pay for that click, pay-per-click. All right. Somebody clicks on that your advert, you have your advert on, this is online, and somebody sees it and said, oh my goodness, and they click on it to see what's going on there, that you have to pay for that. You have to pay for that. So the search engine optimization means, people can go to Google and just search, and then you pop up, right? You pop up. So that's the two differences, right? So you pay as somebody clicks. The other one is that it's search engine optimization. Now, for the search engine optimization, right? You don't really pay, even if somebody comes up with your name, but what happens is that there are certain keywords. People are experts in this. That's not my field, but I think I know generally how it works. People look for common keywords, right? Let's say they're looking for CPAs. That's a keyword for my company, right? They look for common keywords, and with that common keyword, it actually brings up your name, right? On Google or also all the other platforms, Microsoft Edge or any kind of platform, it just pops up your name, right? Or your company's name, because of, it's called search engine optimization. It optimizes the search and then your name comes first, because when they search, it's optimization, right? So the search engine optimization is much cheaper. Is much cheaper than the PPC, which is pay-per-click. And if you ask me, right, if it's worth it, I believe that those that do PPC, of course, they are making money, because again, it's pay-per-click. I would say before you get into any form of marketing, look at where you are. I am very much into grow, right? Starting and then growing, right? I'm very much into that. So if you can afford pay-per-click, go ahead, do it. Do it. But if you say, oh, you know what, I'm not ready to be paying as somebody clicks my advert, they click on it, I'm not ready, right? I don't have that kind of unexpected funds, I don't want to just have to be paying for that, because when you have search engine optimization, right, and then you get to the extent that you're doing, your company, your marketing is very good, right? Then all of a sudden people are clicking, right? Now, if you're not doing the PPC, right, PPC, which is pay-per-click, you're fine, you don't have to pay. But if your search engine optimization is so good, right, and people are actually finding you, I would say, do you really need PPC? Do you really need it? So again, I am not a marketing specialist, but I always look at the cost-benefit analysis, because I'm a numbers person. I say, okay, if it's pay-per-click, it's bringing money to my company, good. But if I'm seeing that SEO, search engine optimization, is actually bringing money also, and I think that I can really scale to a certain level with SEO, then I would say, you know what, let's think of SEO first, then we can scale and move from SEO to pay-per-click. That's what I would say. But again, it depends on so many factors. This platform, I'm just advising on as not really, I won't say advising, but giving educative and informative advice. That's advising, but your case might be different, peculiar, specific issues. So make sure that you're looking at what really applies to your company. All right, let's go to the next question. Okay, do I just send out flyers for marketing, or do I send an official letter to introduce my brand? Okay, flyers are good, but I know that I've received letters from companies that actually introduce themselves, tell me what they do, and then tell me that, okay, after telling me what they do, they ask, okay, this is what they can do for my company. So usually service companies do that more than people that sell products, right? Service companies do that more. The reason why service companies do that, I think they just want to, show that they are, better than the rest, right? So whether you choose to send an official letter or send a flyer, I think is actually up to you. I know sending an official letter is more expensive. Of course, when you get that one done, that specific official letter, you can actually, copy it and, send it to so many people. But flyers can be sent as postcards. Flyers can be, instead of sending, okay, I would say flyers are larger than postcards, but people actually, instead of sending those large flyers, they shrink it a little bit to make it cheaper for mailing. So it's still in the form of just sending it out there. All right. But I would say that look at, first of all, your target market. I don't think that if you're selling things like toys, I would wonder why you need an official letter to explain your toys. I would not do that. If it's me, again, look at your peculiar situation. But I would say that it really depends. What are you selling? Who's your target market? Who are you? Who is your audience, right? Right. Let's say I'm thinking of somebody selling games, right? I have kids that before you know it, this game is available, right? I can imagine them getting letters and explaining about this game or that game. I really think that will not work with them when it comes to marketing. That will not work. Sending them letters, sending the home letters for, this is the game that is being introduced. No, that will not work. So again, first of all, know your target audience. A lot of people make this mistake. They said, my friend is in a business. She is doing that. He is doing that. But I have not started, and I'm thinking of doing what my friend does, or doing what my friend does. They're in business like me. They are small businesses, right? Just like me. That's not the issue. The issue is your friend might have a different target market or target audience compared to you, right? And so if your friend has a separate or a different target audience, you have to be careful that you don't just say, okay, the person is doing this, I'm going to go with that person. All right. You have to be very, very careful. All right. Okay. So, my answer is that it just depends what works for you. And of course, again, look, you can consult with a professional to see what works for you. But again, look at your target audience to know which way to go, the letter writing or sending out flyers. Okay. All right. The next question is, I want to use discount to attract clients. Yes, very good. What is the best way to share this information? All right. Well, we talked about this show was about flyers. Flyers is one of the ways, but social media, wonderful way to have a wide reach, social media. Now, if you're selling things online, I have to continue to stress. If you're selling things in a brick and mortar store and you have not gone online, I have to continue to stress. I switched it up. If you're selling things in a brick and mortar store and you haven't gone online, you need to sit back and make sure your online market is out there, that you're really doing well in the online market. It's very, very important, because when I say doing well, you have your online platform you have an efficient online platform, because one of the ways, of course, is on your online platform to share this discount information, right? Now, and one thing that people do, and I find this very interesting, many stores are doing this. They're telling you, oh, you're going to get 15%, right? Let me have your email. You're going to get 15%. Can I text you for you to get a coupon or something? You know why they're doing that? They're doing that so that they can have your contact information, and that when there is any discount like this, you can send it out to them either by email or by text, right? Of course, they have the option to unsubscribe, but those are the ways, right? Of course, if you don't have that large clientele, use social media. If you're in the kind that is a geographically located business, which you need customers around the locality, right? Use flyers. I mean, go through the effective ways of what I said about flyers, all right? Make sure that you do that, flyers, sponsoring and all those good stuff, all right? Right? But social media, very, very good way of doing that. Okay? All right. All right, so we still have time for one more question, I believe. Okay. I find it difficult to let staff go. How do I minimize this? Okay. I feel your pain. I know what it means. As you said, it's not nice to tell somebody to go home, right? That when I say go home, it's not nice to fire a staff, right? So I hope you've actually watched my show on how to retain staff, right? And not only staff, good staff. No, so usually I say from the beginning, hire good staff. Now, I know here and there things happen. But if you say, I find it difficult to let staff go, it means that this is not something that this is something that you face more than one time, So your goal as a business owner is to make sure you hire staff that will stay. Because in this case, it's not that they're resigning. You're actually looking for ways to fire them. So could it be that when you are hiring the staff, right, you did not do your due diligence? You got so excited and just put somebody that now you know that the person is not who you should be working for you. All right. So I would say that to minimize this, make sure that from the beginning, you're actually looking for staff that are the kind of staff that you would like to work with for a long period of time. Let it be that your staff will say, you know what, I have to go because of one reason or the other, but you don't even want that. You want to make your staff happy because I told you, I mentioned this in my show on how to retain good staff or how to retain staff, is that staff turnover is very expensive. You don't want to spend time to train, to look for the staff, to get, even when you're training the staff, there's downtime, all those, there are costs. So very important for you to do your best to hire the right staff, right? Make sure the core values that you have in your company, that your staff relate to those core values. I remember a case that there was somebody that said that this guy was very good in his work, but he had certain core values that he had in his company, and this person did not identify with them. He was very good at his work, so he decided to leave, right? But that one is different because this person decided to leave, right? So I would say from the beginning, your core values, your mission statement, everything that you want to be out there should be known to every new staff. And go beyond their degrees. Make sure that they can work in a team. They can work with people. They can even listen to you. Some people can't even listen to their bosses. They have this kind of character traits. All right. So you don't want that to happen, So make sure to minimize this, do your due diligence in hiring the right staff. All right. And make sure you watch my program where I said I actually went through, went through steps on how to do your best to retain your staff, right? And that one of the things I said is hire the right staff from the beginning. All right. So very excited that we've come to the end of my show. Of course, you're free to, to subscribe. And if you want to attend the show, if you want to be on this program, go to my website. I believe the website is at the bottom there. driniadesanya.com, and then it show you ways in just how to communicate and, let me know. what you want to do, if you want to come as, and share your issues in the office or in your business. Not really, well, office as your office. When it comes to office, I'm talking about your business, okay? Or you want to share something that you feel that you're an expert in an area, you want to share something out there for our viewers, please reach out. All right. And of course, as I said, this is a platform where I help SMEs thrive. And of course, to thrive, you have to be intentional. All right. See you next time. Bye for now.